Hello, my name is Enrique Robinson, and this is my self-evaluation podcast. Prior to coming to Full Sail, I had previously taken a public speaking course, so I really was never nervous about it. I just never really practiced. Like after I obviously took the first public speaking course at the other school, but here at Full Sail, in every class you have to get up and present in front of your classmates. So it's a pretty cool thing, and I feel great, obviously, about my speeches. Now, talking about communication skills, as of today, no, I'm not comfortable with my communication skills, but I feel like by the time I graduate Full Sail, I will be comfortable communicating and helping people understand what I'm trying to say. As far as using ethos, pathos, and logos in my delivery of speeches, I'm pretty much played upon. I use the ethos and pathos more than logos because I'm a genuine, honestly person. So I use honesty a lot, and that's obviously what ethos is. So I played upon that a lot in my speeches, and I also use pathos because you're trying to draw emotion out of someone, which I'm good at it because I'm always trying to make people laugh, which that's getting emotion out of someone. So now in my first speech, the introductory speech, I know I probably said that was my worst one here, although I don't feel like any of my speeches went horrible. But in the introductory speech, I felt like I failed to make eye contact a lot with the audience. And I don't know why, because I didn't even write stuff down. Like, I pretty much talked off my mind and off the slides. And I said a lot, even though I still say a lot, using the pause in my sentence. And it's a habit I'm trying to get rid of. Now, in my second speech, the persuasive speech, I feel I did pretty good on that. Like contacting with the eyes, because obviously that was pivotal in that speech to connect with the audience and draw them in. Um, Obviously, I used a lot in that speech too, so that was a problem. But I felt I spoke well in that, although in my notes it said that I didn't, so obviously I should work on that. Now, in my industry professional speech, I feel like that one was pretty good too, because um, I, by that time I had tried to correct my voice projection, like speaking up to talk to the audience in the back, like my teacher told me. Um, Eye contact was there, because obviously I talked about a very touching subject, which was Magic Johnson, probably one of the greatest basketball players ever and entrepreneurs. Obviously, I could talk about him again, so don't get me started. Um, as far as changing my delivery for each of my speeches, um, the only difference was the persuasive speech, which was me trying to like get emotion and get like people get a call to action like out of them. So that one obviously was the one that I had to work the hardest on, which I had to build up on the ethos and pathos a lot. But other speeches were okay. As far as working in my group, that was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. It made it more comfortable to get up there and talk. Obviously with the guys that you practice a lot with, which was the only bad thing was that you had to practice a lot as a group to get it down to a certain time frame. So that was pretty easy. Uh, did I get nervous during any of my speeches? Probably my first one, the introduction one, because obviously I didn't. That was all of us getting acquainted and getting the jitters out. But that was probably the only one that I got nervous with. I felt the audience. I felt I got great reaction out of them in each one of my speeches. Because in my introduction, when I chose Biggie Smalls' song "Juicy," um, that was pretty cool. Everyone knew that song, so that was pretty cool. So I started off on a good foot with the class. I got a lot of questions on a couple ones, which showed that they were interested in the topic. Obviously, one of the hard things was managing your time. Like fitting within the time constraints. But how I dealt with it was when I rehearsed. I generally like rehearsed for 2 minutes and 50 seconds approximately. that way, because I knew once I got in front of the class, I would obviously talk more, just to sound like make my speech go on, which pretty much put me in a good time frame with each one of my speeches. If I had to rate myself for speeches, I'd probably give myself a 3. Because if I gave myself a 4, that means I'm like the best. And I obviously don't feel like I'm the best yet, but I will be soon, pretty soon. And what I learned from public speaking, pretty much just learn to like get up there and go with it. Like just spit it out. Like there's no way to practice for public speaking at all, other than to get up and actually speak in front of people, which I think is the trick. And I thank you all for listening. I'm Enrique Robinson, and this has been my self evaluation podcast. Thank you all.